All right. Well, thank you guys for being with us. I apologize to you in advance, Betsy, because we have a large team on the East Coast, and they were like, 10 p.m. Holy smokes, we're going to be in bed. Is this going to be recorded? So this is recorded.
Oh, good.
I'm thrilled that Betsy is with us tonight. Betsy and I connected and got to meet each other, surprisingly not in Maui, but at our Jules Excellence training several weeks ago, actually back in February. And the training, as you guys know, I said was really life-changing. We've come home and we've implemented lots. And one of the main things was about our mindset and talking about that. And I felt like Betsy was such a great example of showing us what can happen when you change your mindset. And she's just a delight, a doll. I look forward to spending more time with her. She's rocking, going straight to diamond. So please welcome Betsy Collier tonight on our call.
Aw, thank you guys so much. I'm so humbled to be asked to be on Jen's call. Jen and Phil, you guys are so amazing, and I'm just honored to be asked to share my journey with your team, and it's just a humbling thing. It really is. So thank you for having me. I pray that something that I share tonight will help some of your team members or all of your team members, and that it will be a blessing to you guys as I keep it real with you. You know, I have shared on quite a few calls lately, and my goal is not to train you, but to just give you my journey in hopes that it will inspire you to grow and to never quit. So I just want to say that first and foremost, that this is actually not a training call from me. And I'm like all about training and coaching and motivating and all that good stuff. But my goal is to just share with you a little bit about my journey, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I feel like that's so important, especially when you make it to a Jewel status. A lot of times people, I know for me, I used to like look at Jewels and think like, what? Like, I mean, it just seems so easy for them. How do they do this? You know? And I'm over here struggling and like having a really hard time. And I would have loved it if, I'm so glad that now we have a lot of Joels coming out and talking about their struggle, because I feel like that is so important that people know that the struggle can be so real, but you can overcome the struggle with the right tools. And so that's exciting. I love when people share their struggle and then they share their victory and they share how they did it. So that's what I'm going to be sharing with you guys tonight in just a few minutes. I have been an ambassador going on 4 years. Yes, 4 years. I'm not a jewel that shot straight to the top. Although, hey, kudos, that's awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, that's incredible. But we all come into this journey at a different place in life, okay? We all come into this journey with different networks. We all come into this journey with different mindsets. We all come into this journey at different levels of personal growth and leadership. We just all come into this at completely different places. So never envy somebody else's journey or compare. I've done it a million times, and it's been a stumbling block for me. But I'm just speaking from experience that you never know the backstory of somebody else's journey. You never know what they did all those years before they got into the company, okay? You never know all the baby showers they attended or all the birthday parties they went to develop the networks. You just never know. So it's so silly for us to compare, because it's either going to make you prideful or it's going to make you feel insecure. And neither one of those things are healthy. Those are both toxic emotions. We all need to know that we're on our own journey, that God has a plan for each one of us. And here's the thing, if you never quit, you will succeed. If you commit to the process of personal growth and development, there's no other way, there's no other answer to the problem. You're going to succeed. The answer is you're going to succeed. So when I came into Plexus, pretty much all the odds were stacked against me. First of all, no network marketing experience. Honestly, I didn't even know what network marketing was. I really didn't even know I was in a network marketing company. I joined for the weight loss. Okay, let's just be honest. 4 years ago, that's what I joined for. I joined for wholesale pricing and thought maybe, just maybe, I could get a few customers to offset my cost. That was it. I'm sure that's a lot of your story. And if I look down, it's because I have a few little notes jotted. So I'm not being like weird. I'm just looking down at my notes. I also came into this with no working upline. The closest upline that I had that was working was like 6 levels above me, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I really didn't have that one-on-one guidance, that camaraderie, that teamwork. I wasn't I wasn't a part of anything like that. So, and I don't say that to wah-wah because I'm not a wah-wah and I don't like wah-wah, but I'm telling you this so that you can kind of know how I came into the company. All I had was the old success guide. Okay. We didn't have these little hoity-toity ones that are like foolproof and amazing and anybody could take that success guide and rock it to the top. Like, don't you think, Jen, that those success guides are like mind-blowing? We had the little bitty one and I would like read it at night and like every little thing I would try to implement because I had no idea what I was doing. Like, I didn't even know. I had no idea. All I knew was that I'm a woman. I could tell people I'm doing this, and if they want to do this with me, cool. So it took me 2 years to get to Senior Ruby, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I felt like that was a really long time for me because I was seeing all these people fly through the ranks, getting to diamond in 9 months, and all this stuff, and you're sitting here just like, whoa, what's up? Like, what's wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? So it took me 2 years to get to Senior Ruby. I was so excited. Like, I thought I had made it. I thought, oh my goodness, going straight to Emerald, like it's done. Donezo. Like, I was in. So I get to Senior Ruby and bam, I hit the brick wall so hard that like I had whiplash and it flung me like 50 yards back. It was insane. I was so flabbergasted, I guess is the right word. I had no idea what was happening. I thought I had reached it. Like, oh man, I'm gonna make it to the top now. I'm excited. My dreams are coming true. And I get to Senior Ruby, and then what happened? My team started just falling away. My momentum had completely stopped. I went all the way back down to Senior Gold by December. And I was left at a crossroads. I was left at a crossroads. Some of you may be at a crossroads right now trying to decide, am I going to go in and give it all I got, or am I going to give up? And that's where I was. I felt like I had given my all. I felt like I was giving it every best part of me. And I felt like I had laid it all out there. I really did, only to be experiencing this really hard time. I had a decision to make at that point. Was I going to, dig deep and find out why I hit the wall? Was there something truly wrong? Maybe I wasn't doing everything right. Maybe I wasn't giving it my all. Maybe I really wasn't going all in. Maybe there were some leaks in my pipeline that I needed to check out to see where the leaks were coming from. That was where I was at. Am I gonna be able to do this? Am I gonna really dig deep and overcome? Because let's face it, when you hit a wall like that, it is just it's crazy. And you feel sorry for yourself, and you go into a pity party mode, and you go into woe is me, and why this, and why that, and why is everybody this, and I'm not this. And a lot of toxic things are happening inside. At least for me it was. I don't know about for you guys. Well, I decided that December, it was 2014. Yeah, 2014 December. I was going to go all in. I had come too far. I had been in the company for over 2.5 years. There was no way I was turning around now. There was no way. I had sacrificed a lot. I had been to all the conventions. I had been to Super Saturdays. There's no way that Betsy Collard was giving up that easily. I'm way too hard-headed for that, and I'm too much of a fighter. So I decided to dig deep and figure out what was up, okay? So I started realizing the leaks in my pipeline. I started realizing that I truly had not given 200%. I really didn't even know what it meant to give 200%, to be honest. Keep in mind, I really didn't have a mentor. I really didn't, and I'm not saying that is what was me, but you know, I didn't really have that one-on-one, somebody to say, oh, this is where you're messing up here, or this is what it is. I had to really figure it out. I had to go into massive personal growth and development. And so there were several things that I was doing wrong, but I'm not going to go into all those details. If you want to check that out, I've got a video about the tips, the business tips on my YouTube channel about that. So here's the deal. I dug in. I got my knees dirty. I started working my little tail off. I determined in my mind I was not missing Maui this year. Like, I was going. It was done. I don't care what I have to do as long as it's not illegal. I'm going to be an emerald. Like, everything above, you know, the law, I'm going to do. And so I got to work. I'm talking like worked my little hiney off. I don't even want to tell you how many hours I was working, but I was working a lot of family sacrifice. You know, and that side note, if you want to be a jewel, please know that you're going to get your elbows a little dirty, a lot dirty, but in the end, it's worth it. Okay. That's just a side note. I want to throw that in there. So worked my little hiney off, made it to Emerald July 31st, 5 p.m., was about to have a baby. 3 days later, went into labor. I was like having contractions as I was like trying to go Emerald. Okay. Serious. I was that serious. Like, I didn't care if I was giving birth. I was going to go Emerald. I would have been having the computer on my belly on the table, making it happen. Okay. And so I get to Emerald. Oh my gosh. Woo! God is good, and he is. And it was exciting, and I believe that he brought me to that level. It was awesome. All my dreams had come true. I was blown away. Now I can have this baby, take a little time off, all this stuff. Guess what? I get to Emerald, hit a wall. Another freaking wall. Like, what is that? What's up? Why am I hitting all these walls? Aggravating. I'm so over the walls, you know? Why do I have to hit all the walls? Nobody else is hitting walls. You know, certainly nobody else is hitting a wall. I'm the only one hitting a wall. So, okay, so I hit a wall, you guys. I have found that when we hit walls, it's always about personal growth. It's always a signal that we need to work on something. It's not an easy realization to come to. It's not fun. And it takes a very determined person with a strong why to dig deep and determine that they're going to figure it out so that they can hit the next level. If you don't, not only will you remain where you are, but you'll go backwards. So if you're stuck, I want to encourage you, dig deep. Do whatever you have to do. Read books. Pray about it. And I'll tell you what I figured out my problem was, and this is where it gets really good. I want to say a quote from John Maxwell. He says, "We are not who we are that matters. We are who we think we are." I'm going to say that again. We are not who we are that matters. We are who we think we are. I want you to selah on that for a second. It means think about that, okay? I realized the Lord started showing me. I started praying about it, crying about it, very deep prayer, because I was so sick of being stuck. It wasn't just my Plexus business, you guys. It was my whole life. It was my marriage. It was my family life. It was a lot of different things in my life that I was feeling just, I don't know if you've ever gone through something like this, but something that you've struggled with your whole life that you've wanted so desperately to overcome, but you just did not know exactly what it was and how to overcome it, okay? I don't know if you've ever experienced anything like that in your life. But that's where I was. I was at a point in my life that God used my Plexus business to not only help me to grow my business, but he used these walls. And I believe they were purposely put there for me to overcome in my whole entire life, okay? And so while the wall sucked, excuse my language, I'm thankful for the wall. I'm thankful that God saw he went before me. And hindsight's 2020, and we know that he sees all and he knows what we need. And that he put that roadblock there because he knows Betsy Collard's not a quitter, and that I was going to dig deep so that I could overcome, not only for my business. That was a good part about it, but it really wasn't the main thing. It was about me. It was about me being able to be a blessing. It was about me being able to help other people overcome, for me to be able to overcome this so that I could help other people. You know, it's never about us. It's always about others. And if you will allow God to help you to overcome whatever you're struggling with in your life, then God's going to turn around and use you to encourage someone else. And that is a blessing. That is such a, I love how Alec Clark says, when you're blessed, be a blessing. And so it's so awesome now to be able to share what I'm about to tell you has helped me. So I had to get real, okay? I had to realize some things about myself that were not fun, that were not exciting, that were not glamorous. First of all, I was a negative Nelly. I realized that I was a glass half full girl. That sucks, man. That really does suck. To realize that you are that person sucks. You're just like, oh my gosh, how did I make it this far being like this? I realized that my thought life was toxic. Not that I was thinking nasty, perverted thoughts. I was thinking negative thoughts. I was thinking glass half full thoughts. I was thinking thoughts, toxic, self-defeating, self-sabotaging thoughts. I had limited beliefs about myself, about my life, about who I was. I didn't value myself. I didn't believe other people valued me either. I was very insecure. It was a lot of really bad stuff, you guys. And I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad about this, but what I'm trying to help you is to see that we've got to know where we are so that we can know where we're going. And we have to be able to be real and keep it real with ourselves in order to be able to know where we need to overcome. And so the Lord gently started showing me that my thoughts were causing me to self-sabotage. That every time I would reach a certain level, I would start thinking crazy thoughts like, oh my God, are you gonna stop being successful now? Are you gonna go backwards now? You're gonna this, you're gonna that, all these negative things. And guess what? Those things that I was thinking were happening. Thoughts are so powerful. And I got this book, Switch on Your Brain by Dr. Caroline Leaf. And she talks about the power of our thoughts and how thoughts have tremendous power over our lives, and that we have the power in Jesus to overcome those things in our mind. And we have the tools. We can go back and we can reprogram our brains and switch on the right switches and turn off the wrong switches. And we can start reprogramming our minds to think the right things. And when we do that, we're going to start saying the right things. And when we say the right things, our behavior is going to change. And when our behavior changes, our actions change. When our actions change, our lives change. And I started really diving into this and realizing that I needed to change. It wasn't my team. It wasn't that I had bad luck. It wasn't that I just was one that never was going to do it. It was me. It was my personal growth. It was God trying to heal me. He was trying to bring me to a place of healing, because this was something I had struggled with my whole life, y'all. This had been paralyzing my marriage, me as a mother, me as a leader, me as a motivator. If you don't believe in yourself, other people are going to have a hard time believing in you. The value that you place on yourself is going to be the value others place on you as well. So what happened? I got into that book. I started doing some soul searching, and I started realizing where I had started making these wrong decisions in my mind. And a lot of times it comes from traumatic experiences in your past, or negative things that have been told to you over and over, or things that you have. Sometimes when negative things happen to you, you make up things in your mind that aren't really necessarily true, but you accept them. For instance, I went through this thing when I was a kid where all the girls ganged up on me at school, and I didn't have any friends for a while. So I had to play by myself at recess, okay? And that's totally not even me. I'm not even that. I'm like the life of the party girl. So back then, that was traumatic for me, and I made the decision that I just wasn't chosen. I wasn't worthy. I wasn't valued. So those traumatic experiences caused me to believe really harmful things about myself that I allowed to plant in my subconscious that were playing into my conscious mind for all of these years. And they caused me to self-defeat, self-sabotage. I would speak negative words over my life. I would think negative thoughts. And guess what? Everything that I was thinking and saying was happening unbeknownst to me. I didn't even realize what was happening, but I was going around the mountain over and over and over again. And it was so discouraging. Oh my goodness. Did I want to give up over and over in life in general? Yeah, I did. I would cry myself to sleep at night so many nights wondering what's wrong with me? Why this? Why that? And I finally realized it was my thought life. It was the words. It was the way that I saw myself, okay? It's such a powerful thing that so many people struggle. I'd be willing to bet almost everybody struggles with this to some degree, okay? Some degree, most everybody beats themselves up, speaks negative words over their lives, thinks negative thoughts about themselves. I would have feelings of not being worthy, undeserving, not chosen, like I mentioned before, not good enough, like I was going to be the only one that it never happened to. And it wasn't just that I was having these thoughts about my Plexus business. I had these thoughts like with my first child. I told my husband, what if I'm the only one who doesn't love their baby, like when they're born? Like I would have crazy irrational thoughts like this because there was a traumatic experiences. Even deeper, I'm not going to go into that, but there was some traumatic things that happened in my life that caused me to feel like I was the only one that this wasn't going to happen to. I had to go really deep, y'all. Very painful. I'm still in process, by the way. I want you guys to know this, that I'm not, I haven't reached complete fulfillment of this. I feel like we're all in process, and I'm still in process. By sharing this with you guys, it helps me to overcome. I just want you to know. So here's what I did. I got into that book, started digging deep because you need to find out why it happened really before you can just start spouting out positivity, because you're going to have a cognitive dissonance it talks about in the book where it's really not adding up in your brain. So you really kind of have to go deep and figure out where it was. And that book is a really good book. I'm not going to be able to tell all about it, but Switch on Your Brain by Dr. Caroline Leaf. And then, one of my mentors now, don't feel too bad for me because God blessed me with Sarah Marble and Sonia Dudley to be close friends of mine that are mentors. So don't feel bad for me that I didn't have anyone, because God completely blew my socks off and blessed me with those two amazing women. But Sonia Dudley spoke into my life, and she helped me to get to the root of where these negative self-talk was coming from, and also helped me to develop some positive affirmations. Okay, and these weren't affirmations that I had ever done before. I had done affirmations before. It wasn't consistent with them, didn't have truly bold, specific affirmations, and really didn't know how to develop the correct ones. So I used to think like, this is just bogus. Like, this is just frou-frou, whatever, back in the day, like, And so but because I had read that book, Switch on Your Brain, and because I knew biblically how this was so true, I bought into it. I believed it. And I started with 5 strong, specific, and bold affirmations that completely defied the fears that I had in my life, completely defied the arguments that I had in my life, okay? And honestly, at first it felt really funny and weird, and I'm like, oh, this feels like so fake and like such a lie. And at first it may feel like that, but your subconscious does not know if your mouth is telling the truth or not. I don't know if you knew that, but your subconscious doesn't know. So if you're speaking negative, your mind is taking it in as it's the truth, and your body and your actions are going to follow those negative words. So the same goes for positive words. When you're speaking those affirmations like 5 times a day over and over, your mind is starting to buy into this, and you're going to start reprogramming your brain and taking that hard drive that's there and replacing it with a brand new hard drive, okay? And so that's what happened. I started speaking those positive affirmations, and I'm still doing them every day. I've actually made new ones as I've gone, because now I'm seeing other areas that I need to work on that, and I'm going through the process. Why do I have this argument? Why do I keep feeling this way? If it's negative, I'm telling you, there's an argument behind it. Why? And so I pray about it. I go deep. I pretty much cry every time. I figure out where the hurt came from, where the argument came from, and then I develop an affirmation that completely defies that. I will just tell you guys, since I have done this, my life is changed forever. Like, you guys, not just talking about Plexus, okay? My Plexus business is rocking now, okay? So that's great. Praise God for that. I'm thankful. I'm over the moon thankful. But what I'm most thankful for, and I may get teary-eyed when I tell you, what I'm most thankful for is that I finally have the tools to overcome and be the person that I know that I was always meant to be. You know, a lot of you probably feel like you're almost like an out-of-body experience. You see who you're really meant to be, but you're stuck in where you are right now. And you almost feel like, you feel trapped. You almost feel like, how am I ever going to get to where this is where I want to be? How am I ever going to get there? Because you feel so like you're in bondage. You know, like, how am I ever going to overcome? Well, this has been the tool that is going to help me to overcome everything in my life. Reprogramming my brain, because thoughts and words are everything in your life. If God started the Bible out and created the world with his words, what do you think he was trying to tell us right there? He was giving us the example that our words and our thoughts control everything. They control whether you're successful or whether you're a failure. They control whether you're a good mom or a bad mom. They control whether you have a successful marriage or you don't. And I say that humbly because mine were working against me for so long. I'm in process. I'm still learning. I'm still saying my affirmations every day. But I'll tell you this. I finally, for the first time in 31 years, am starting to see value in myself. I'm starting to know that I am a diamond ambassador. I'm starting to finally see that I can do all things through Christ. That used to be just a scripture that I heard and it kind of got on my nerves, to be honest with you, and people would tell you to say that and you're like, if I hear that one more time, I'm going to like throat punch somebody, because you just almost like are just tired of the same old. But I finally see that now. You know, we're supposed to renew our minds. You know, the Bible talks about renewing our minds, and that then we'll know his good, pleasing, and perfect will. I'm finally starting to see that happen in my life, because I'm seeing who I am in Christ. I'm seeing myself more the way the Lord sees me, and that is chosen, valued, good enough, more than good enough, successful, beautiful, and that is the way the Lord sees you too. And that's the way he sees us all. And it's so hard for us to receive that so many times, because we have all this junk that we've accumulated all these years. All these years, we have suitcases of baggage that we're carrying. And you know, we can't really have a clear vision of who we really are because we're so clouded. But today, I hope that this will help you to know that you can overcome. That, listen, I didn't overcome on my own. This is totally God, all God. I never want myself to get one ounce of credit for this. He showed me the problem. He gave me the tools, and he's continuing to give me the tools and the strength to overcome. Is it a battle sometimes during the day? Yeah, it is. Is there still times when the enemy tries to come and beat me up and tell me this, tell me that? Yeah. I've got to get out my weapons. I've got to get out the word. I've got to start speaking and confessing and hearing them over and over. And I've got a battle. It's a battle. But is it a battle worth fighting? Yes. Has it been amazing for me? Absolutely. Like, my husband is just like, whoa, you're a different person. I have people messaging me all the time. Like, I don't even personally know certain people, diamond ambassadors, messaging me, telling me, you know, I see you like this. I see you like that. I'm like, we've never even talked. All glory to God, you guys, because whenever you start changing the way you think and the way you see yourselves, other people are going to see it. They're going to feel it. It's going to change your life. There's an app that Sonia recommended. She did a mindset training for my team in New Orleans last month called Repeat It Again app. Actually, you can have up to like 8 or 9 affirmations. You can record your affirmations on here, and you can play it back when you're putting your makeup on. Play it when you're in the bathtub. Play it when you wake up in the morning, when you go to bed at night. Listen to those affirmations over and over again, but not just listen. Speak them. Power of your words. Speak them. I challenge you to speak them 3 to 5 times a day. If you've got to get your alarm set on your phone and have like 5 alarms so that you remember, I've got little index cards I carry around in my purse. They sit by my bed when I go to bed at night so that they're there in the morning. Life's busy. I've got 3 kids, 5 and under. Oh my word. I've got my hands full. I've got to purposely speak those every single day. And it's just been amazing. So I know that I'm out of time. I pray that this has blessed you. I pray that you'll never, ever give up, and that if you want this bad enough, I tell my team this, if you truly want it bad enough, you will do whatever it takes to do this, whatever your goal is. The only time I see somebody fail is when they don't want it bad enough and they quit, or they're not willing to do what it takes to get there. And listen, this is about personal growth and development. And if you're committed to that, then the sky is the absolute limit. The sky's the absolute limit, you guys. And I'm sure there's going to be other walls that come up in my journey. But you know what? I'm determined now. I'm determined. And I know that I can do all things and that I can overcome those walls and that I will overcome those walls. So that's all I've got. Jen, thank you so much for having me, and take the mic back, sister.
Oh, wow. That was so good. Because I only got a snippet of that story when we met, and thank you for sharing, because I think it's so easy for us to show the shiny and bright about ourselves and hide the things that we that are not the pretty things, that are the things that are hurtful. And Betsy, thank you, because of your willingness to be vulnerable, there are lots and lots of lives being impacted, including the lives of the people that are listening to this call tonight, and the people that are here with us. Thank you. I don't know, I don't really feel like this is an appropriate time to even ask questions, because you've just poured and laid it out. I think there's a lot of just good reflecting that needs to happen, guys, from what Betsy has said. From what I've shared, from just the time that I talked with her and what little I've read in the book, that it is powerful stuff and it does work. Several of the faces that you see on the screen have written out their little cards and affirmations, and they're seeing them make a difference in a short amount of time, which I love that the Lord is so faithful to bless us when we do what he asks us to do, when light is shed and that we get that revelation. So thank you again. Will pray that this time is redeemed for you and your family, and that your business continues to grow and be successful. And I look forward to seeing you really soon, sweetie.
Amen. Thank you. I receive that. And definitely this is our year. So we're doing this, and this can be your year too. Just claim it, speak it, work hard for it. It's in the bag if you do those things. So Thank you so much for having me.
You are welcome. Thanks you guys for being with us. I know it was later than normal, but I know that you, as we did, you found it super valuable, and we will see you really soon. This will be posted on the team page, if not tonight, first thing in the morning. All right. Thank you guys. Good night. Thanks again.
Bye. Thank you guys.